Hey guys, what's up? I'm CJ and welcome back to my galaxy. Today we are talking about Jurassic World Rebirth, the newest installment in the Jurassic Park franchise. Now we know that the Jurassic Park franchise has been going on with Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory, but we haven't had an official movie come out since I think 2022 when Dominion came out. But I'm going to talk about the new movie today and basically tell you guys what my thoughts were. I have my list here, like always. I have my little notepad. I got a new notepad for my YouTube notes. It's got cats on it. Isn't that so cute? I love this notebook. I found it at Kmart and I don't remember how much it was. But yeah, it's Kmart. It's at Kmart. If you want a notebook with cats on it, highly recommend getting this one. But Jurassic World Rebirth, I'm gonna be honest, before I say anything about Jurassic World, it is so weird being on camera again. I haven't filmed a proper video in so long, in weeks maybe. I can't remember the last time I uploaded a video. So here we are, back again on YouTube, and I'm gonna be uploading 3 times a week again. So that's great. And let's talk about my thoughts on the Jurassic World franchise, the new installment, the new movie, which was honestly so much better than Dominion. Like, I think Dominion was such a big disappointment at the end of the day, and I know there was a lot of expectations for that movie, but at the same time, it was great for a closing movie for the whole franchise. I don't know why they made another movie, but Dominion, it was full of cameos and it was not the best thing that they've ever made. I haven't actually seen any reviews about it yet because I haven't really been on social media too much, but I know that I like the movie. And that's all that really matters here, that I liked the movie, because here I am, a Jurassic Park and dinosaur just fanatic, and I'm gonna love a good dinosaur movie, even if I think the franchise should have stayed closed with Dominion. I do really think that the whole franchise was redeemed by Rebirth, and I'm going to discuss the points as to why I think that right now. So there was things I enjoyed and things that I didn't enjoy as much. I think kind of hindered the movie in some ways. But let's talk about, first part of my notes, there was a huge cast of characters. It was one of the things that you kind of go into every Jurassic Park movie expecting, because we know people are going to die from dinosaurs. So who was going to die? They have to start off with this big cast. So you know that the people you're not speaking to as much are going to end up dead in some capacity, usually. So there is some level of predictability there, and I think that does, in a way, work to their benefit, but also hinders them in some ways. I personally enjoyed trying to figure out who was gonna die and how, depending on how their characters were laid out in the movie, what plots they were in, like if they were in plot A or plot B and why, and what they were saying. And I know that at the beginning of the movie, I turned to my sister and we discussed the fact that, yeah, we were talking in the cinema. Leave me alone. I talk a lot. If I talk this much on YouTube, can you imagine how the people in my life have to listen to me? I know. I talk too much. No, I don't talk too much. I talk just the right amount because I enjoy talking about Jurassic Park. But my sister and I were like, this guy, oh my god, I don't remember his name. I never remember characters' names, but the guy who was the businessman and kind of hired them to collect all of the DNA from the dinosaurs, that guy, he immediately was like a standout character of, he's gonna get the coolest death. This guy is not surviving this movie, and I can't wait to see how he dies. And obviously, he's gonna die to the D-Rex, and he did. And it was brilliant. I know, it's so gruesome, but I'm just like imagining the scene as he like died. It was very gruesome, but it was very entertaining to watch. Obviously, predictability can be bad for a movie as well. Not everyone enjoys being able to predict a movie. You can obviously like speculate as to how everyone's gonna die, and it makes the movie more entertaining, but I would say people didn't want that. And I know that now Jurassic Park, having been around for 30, 40, it couldn't have been 40 years. No, it'd be about 30, just over 30 years now. And oh no, they said 32, I think, at the beginning of Jurassic World Rebirth is how long dinosaurs have been back for. So 32 years, I believe. I might be wrong. It's 30 something. Ignore that. 30 something years of Jurassic Park and dinosaurs. And the franchise itself has come up with a formula of big cast, lots of people to kill off. You know, they have essentially the main cast, the main like trio in a way. They don't always have the trio, not in every movie, but they have like the characters that you know are just like the ensemble cast, the main characters. You have like the one main character and then sometimes more. You have the original three, obviously. Dr. Sattler. I don't know why I said Dr. Sattler first, because it's Dr. Grant that's the main character, but also Dr. Malcolm. And in saying the cast was big, they were also very bold with killing off all of these characters. It was insane watching all of those really gruesome deaths. Let me start with the one who was first that I saw, that I can remember. I think the Spinosauruses went, and I'll talk about the Spinos later on, but when they came up and that one guy started shooting them, he like really fought for his life. And that's something that really came up every time each of them died, because they were all like trained professionals as well. So they knew what they were doing going into this little mission of theirs, and the plot was lots of skilled people on a dinosaur island. So every single character put up a really good fight, which made it so much worse to watch. It was like so bad. The guy who shot the Spinos and was eaten by the Spinos, he was really clinging onto the boat, and that was truly terrifying to watch. And then who was next? Then it was also, that's another thing. I keep thinking of points, right? It drove me insane that these people are so incredibly skilled, but they cannot for the life of them look around them. You can't, the woman, there was the first guy that died to the Spinos, the second woman who died to the Spinos. She didn't see right next to her that there was a dinosaur just sitting around lazing in the sun. And it came around and just ate her. You're telling me you're like this skilled professional and you didn't think to look around you for danger on a dinosaur island, knowing that you were going to be on a dinosaur island? Why not? But her whole death was very gruesome as well. The whole ocean being just bloody, and that was quite something to watch. That's something I'm really gonna give the movies as well. The deaths are so incredibly memorable. Like, I remember every single one of them. And so there was those two, and then there was the who I nicknamed the French guy. He was French. He spoke, I think he only spoke French as well, or maybe a little bit of English, just like one line, but he spoke only French. And he was eaten by, I don't know how to pronounce it. I just know the big bird, and I know the name. I just don't know how to say it out loud. I've only ever read it. And you know how that is when you read things and you just don't know how to say it out loud. The big bird. And when he was, oh my God, that was just the memory of watching that is like burned into my memory. Is that he kind of got chewed in half, and it was, you could see the bird freaking swallowing his body. That was disturbing to watch. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I want to say in a way it's a good thing, because like, yes, memorable deaths, and they have that going for them. That's one thing that people love, is like in an action movie you want to see like violence, I guess. I don't know. Action movies like Jurassic Park, you go to a Jurassic Park movie to see people get eaten by dinosaurs. So yeah, I guess it's good. And now I have to live with that memory of watching that guy die. And then obviously there was the business guy who got eaten by the D-Rex. The D-Rex, although the D-Rex was so underwhelming as a dinosaur. They really advertised the D-Rex just for it to only be in a couple of scenes. It was like this massive moment of meeting this like other like mutant hybrid dinosaur, and how all the dinosaurs are like really ugly, and first of all, the one thing that I say, I keep getting like sidetracked. We all know my brain goes all over that's why I have notes. My brain goes all over the place when I film these kinds of videos, right? The T-Rex was so big. And I feel like the way they animated it, the CGI, was that it was so much bigger than like what the T-Rex is or what like the Indominus Rex was. I feel like they've never animated a dinosaur that's as big as the D-Rex before. But that might just be my perception, I'm not entirely sure. I absolutely loved the family subplot. I think it would be like plot A is collecting the dinosaur DNA and then plot B is the family. I absolutely loved, like the boyfriend, he was really good for comedic relief. And although I keep saying although, there are always words I say in the middle of these videos that I'm like, I need to stop saying it. That's how you know these videos aren't scripted. Every time that it'd be comedic relief and then they'd get into like this really dangerous situation and just go back and forth with the family. Also loved Dolores. If you've ever watched Camp Cretaceous or Chaos Theory, you know that Bumpy, the Ankylosaurus, is like a protector of them, and they warn the group that basically there is like danger near, there's a predator near them. Dolores basically acted as that kind of indicator that there was danger nearby. So I really enjoyed that. I loved Dolores, and I love that Dolores came with them off of the island as well. Speaking of the family's plot, the T-Rex, the swimming T-Rex, you know what I think would have really benefited this movie is if they didn't tell us the T-Rex could swim in this movie, because that would have been like a massive reveal had they not put that in the trailer. But we all know when it comes to Jurassic Park, they tell us everything in the trailer, even though they definitely shouldn't be doing that. I actually kind of found it cute though that the T-Rex was sleeping. It was kind of adorable, even though it like scarily disappeared behind the inflatable boat, the inflatable raft, I think it was. That was terrifying. 1, 2, love a sleeping T-Rex. Would love another scene. It was a massive dinosaur that's just having a good old nap. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the movies. No, it was actually my favorite part of the movie was the sleeping T-Rex. I can't imagine being on a dangerous dinosaur island with a small child like that. Just that's just a random thought that occurred to me, was I would just like, you're gonna kill us all. You tiny child, you tiny human, you're gonna be the death of us all because you can't like keep up with us. You can't pay attention. Like I don't want to be your brain as well when I'm trying to concentrate on surviving. The sole reason I'm not having kids ever is just because in case someone brings back dinosaurs and I end up on a dangerous dinosaur island and I have to protect my child or someone else's child, don't have children, because one day, you don't know, you could end up in this really dangerous dinosaur island and you don't want to have a child with you at that time. Let's go back to the dinosaurs and discuss a little bit about them as well. I know there was a lot of things that people were anticipating leading up to this movie. You know, the T-Rex, sleeping T-Rex, the swimming T-Rex, that's what I meant. And also the Spinos, because they haven't appeared in the main part of the franchise since 2001. I think that's when the third movie came out. So since 2001, no one's seen them in like a cinema release movie. They have actually been in Camp Cretaceous, the Spinos. The actual original Spinosaurus from the third movie was in the Camp Cretaceous animation. So they've made reappearances in the franchise, but people were like super excited because they hadn't seen it on the big screen, the Spinos, in so long, which fair. I totally get that. But that also meant that when the trailer came out and they were kind of a little bit ugly, that meant people weren't happy because the design was all wrong. Except I actually really liked how colorful the Spinosauruses were. And don't shoot the Spinos. Obviously, you're gonna end up dead if you shoot a dinosaur. But the whole purpose of this island was that the dinosaurs were ugly. So I think the backlash from the trailer probably shouldn't have happened. And maybe people should just wait until the movie actually comes out. I think There was one thing where people were saying how in the Sonic movie, people bullied the creators into changing the animation style of Sonic. In this case, there was a reason why the Spinos looked ugly. Although I would say that their colors would have, in my opinion, should have warranted them to be in the Jurassic World park, and well, Jurassic World theme park. It's not Jurassic. Anyway, it's not Jurassic Park. Doesn't matter. Jurassic World theme park. They should have been there. Just in my opinion, they weren't that ugly. They just didn't. They looked a little bit odd. That's all. It wasn't. I think they were cool looking. They weren't as ugly as those freaking bird-like velociraptor things, or like ugly like the D-Rex. They weren't ugly like a lot of the dinosaurs that were on that ugly little dinosaur island. The Spinos did not deserve to be there. They should have been in Jurassic World, not on that island. Possibly, like I said earlier, the D-Rex was kind of underutilized in the movie. I think there should have been a big bad in the movie when I feel like there kind of really wasn't. You know, we moved from one dinosaur to the next very quickly. The big bad was advertised like it was the D-Rex, but at the end of the day, it really wasn't. It kind of like stalked them in the background for a little bit, but nothing really happened until the end of the movie. And I feel like in like the third movie, the Spinosaurus tracked them across the island, and we saw it multiple times. And that's what made that movie so successful, was because people speculated about the dinosaur. Why was it tracking them? Why was it so smart? Was it like some sort of hybrid like the Indominus Rex was? There was all these different theories, and people really enjoyed seeing how like evil the Spinosaurus was, and that it might have had like thoughts and what was its motivations. It was a character. It was like a proper character. And they had a proper character of the Indominus Rex as well in Jurassic World. And then the D-Rex just wasn't really a character. A lot of the dinosaurs were just there, and they were ugly, and they had some weird mutant or hybrid things about them, and it didn't really stick in a way. The CGI I didn't really have a problem with for the dinosaurs. And even though the dinosaurs were ugly, you know, the Spinos, I don't think there was anything wrong with how the Spinos looked, because I think it fit the storyline. But what I did have a problem with was, for some reason, they decided to CGI a lot of the scenes with people in them. So there was a lot of actors, or just the human characters, that were CGI'd in like stunts or things. It was, I don't know if anyone else noticed it, but it was weird because the CGI just didn't match up with the dinosaur CGI. I just found that really weird, that you'd go to all this extent to animate dinosaurs, and then you would do this really wonky looking green screen or really wonky looking CGI for people. I think there was one point where the family was tumbling down a hill, and that looked very much CGI'd. And then there was the point where they were in like the bird kind of dinosaur that I can't pronounce the name of, and a lot of those scenes were CGI'd, and I'm not really sure why, because it looked so bad. Jurassic World as well, or Jurassic Park, the Jurassic Park franchise as a whole is really well known for having like a mixture of good CGI and like innovative CGI and practical effects. And I don't think Jurassic World Rebirth used practical effects at all, at least that I could tell. Maybe you guys want to correct me in the comments, but I couldn't tell that there was actually any practical effects in there. Aside from that, I did really love that in spite of Dominion having so many cameos that really kind of destroyed the plot of that whole movie, Jurassic World Rebirth had parallels. So instead of like making it all about like these cameos and all these actors coming back into the franchise, it was about kind of paying homage to the older movies. Like with the bird-like velociraptor thing, it had toes or claws like the velociraptors when they were in, I think it was like a petrol/gas station, right? And they kind of played up the scene of the velociraptor scene in the original movie in the kitchen. So it looked a lot like that. And they, even though it was a different dinosaur, it looked parallel to that scene, and I really loved that whole scene in the movie. I did feel like when the businessman ended up dying to the D-Rex, it seemed very similar to the lawyer dying to the T-Rex in the original movie as well. I'll have to make an entire video just on parallels of that movie, because I just, every time I saw something, I was like, oh my God, that's like this movie, this scene in this movie. And there was multiple things in from all of the movies, not just the original Jurassic Park, that they were paying homage to. So the fact that the T-Rex was sleeping and taking a little nap on the side of the river, and all the parallels in the movies, those two, they were my favorite parts in that entire movie. So Jurassic World Rebirth, well, it was better than Dominion, absolutely. Where does it sit in the placement of my favorite movies? I want to say, I'm gonna be fully honest with you guys, I actually am not a big fan of the third Jurassic Park movie. I know a lot of people absolutely love that one, but I kind of prefer the second one to Jurassic Park 3. But that's only really based on the merit that it was based on Michael Crichton's original novels. And I can see in the the third movie of Jurassic Park, that they kind of deviated from the script. Apparently what happened, at least from what I know of, is that they had a script and did so many rewrites on set that it kind of deviated from the original story that they had, or there was something along the lines of that. And you can kind of tell here and there that there are, I guess, plot points that aren't really, I wouldn't say consistent. It doesn't feel like it's as good as the original movie. And there was a lot of places that could have been improved in the third. I feel like I'm defending my stance on not liking the third movie as much as everyone else. So many people absolutely love the third movie, and I am not one of them. It goes Jurassic Park 1, Jurassic Park 4, and then probably Jurassic Park 2, 3, and 5, and then Rebirth, and then Dominion. I think that makes sense. Hang on, let me Jurassic Park 1, the original, Jurassic World, and then what order did I say again? Jurassic Park Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, then Rebirth, and then Dominion. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you guys kept track of that. But yeah, that's the order I find my preferences in. I know a lot of people are going to protest that I don't particularly like the third movie. It's not high up on the list. But in my head, it makes sense. I like to put my preferences for the movies in order, just because generally when it comes to a franchise, it just declines. And it's not a massive decline. It's not a huge decline in Jurassic Park, the original 3 movies, but I feel like the second movie makes a lot of sense where the third one doesn't make as much sense. Here I am defending myself when what I'm actually talking about is Jurassic World Rebirth. But putting all that aside, Jurassic World Rebirth I absolutely loved as a movie. I don't know where they could go after this. I get the feeling if they've made this movie, they're likely going to make another one, and they probably will continue making a bunch of movies that they don't really need to make, but they're still going to, because they know they're going to make a profit from it. As long as it makes sense in the world of Jurassic Park, then I don't really, or the world of Jurassic World, welcome to Jurassic World. I understand that they could probably make another movie. Using the same cast would probably make the most sense, but I also don't know what kind of story they could use from it. I don't know what they're planning, but I think it'll be really interesting to see if they actually make another movie and how successful it's going to be. But I enjoyed Rebirth, and I wonder what other movies they'll make. As long as it's better than Dominion, I don't really care. Don't put so many cameos in it and I'm good. More practical effects, improve the CGI on the people in the films. That's all I ask. That's it. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and if you did, please like and subscribe and comment down below. What did you think of the new movie, Jurassic World Rebirth? What was your favorite dinosaur in the film? What was your favorite character? What do you think of the comedic relief? What do you think of the movie just overall? But once again guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been CJ, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!